Hello people of YouTube and welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're doing another Transformers Age of the Primes review, and the figure that we're gonna be looking at is Slingshot from the Aerial Bots team, and he's janky. He's very janky, but in a good way. He has his flaws, but I think he's still a very fun figure, so let's get into it. Oh boy. Looks and feel of this guy are actually kind of decent. I might be in the minority here, but I love Slingshot's head design. I don't know why. The shades are just very stylish, although they're the same color as the rest of his face. And yeah, his head looks I don't know why they thought they just needed to put a square around his head. I don't know what they were thinking, but for me it works. I like it. He's also, as you might see, the paint on the chest, the face, and also the tip of the cockpit is very glossy. And I like that. It looks kind of cool. Color scheme in general is quite nice, actually. I don't know, but I like it. Mostly white with some black and also the orange in the face and the red. It matches very well. And from the front, he doesn't actually look all that bad. You have a lot of sculpted detailing on the arms. I said on the arms, thank you. The chest is okay, and the legs also. A lot of this is also for combined modes, which I can't show you because I don't have Silverbolt or any of the other ones, but just know this dude becomes an arm of a bigger robot, and he has to clip onto that, and I think this and a few other things are there for that, but they also kind of look like they could just be detailing, which is cool. I like that they blend that into the actual design of the figure. He's also fairly hefty for his size. He has a pretty decent weight to him. But now we're gonna get into the problems that this guy has. Need I say more? The back kibble on this guy is friggin' enormous. First of all, you have the cockpit, which kind of has to sit here. I don't know where it could sit otherwise, and I don't know how you could have managed that any other way. But it just kind of still looks bad. You can take it off if you want to make for a cleaner silhouette from the front, and from the back it's decent. But the much bigger problem here is the feet, because this does the Combiner Wars thing for the legs. So all of the things that are supposed to be on the back part of the plane also need to be on the legs and shins, attached to the lower legs. So you have the tail fins back here and the wings, which just makes his feet so enormous, but it also kind of gives him a good base to stand on. So it's kind of compromised, but it's okay. He also has some painting on there with the Autobot symbol and some nice blue put into the mix. That's actually kind of nice. I like that. Overall, he looks good from the front, not so good from the back, but it's a decent package, I would say. Slingshot also has two accessories, that being these two black guns. They're just made out of black plastic, and they look decent. I kind of feel like these are, I don't think they're supposed to be shotguns, but they kind of look like that. I don't know why. I kind of like to imagine that. And you can put them into his hands. Come on, get in there. Thank you. But you can also put them on the side of the arms. Oh, come on. Like that, which is also kind of cool, but I don't really do that. And if you don't want him to hold them in his hand, you can also just take them and plug them onto the wings, which, to be honest, doesn't actually look super terrible, but you can't see it because it's not focused. Semi-focused. Now it's focused. Yay! It's not bad, but like we've seen worse weapon storage. I like that it's there on the robot mode for like when you don't want him to hold his weapons, because sometimes you want to do that with Transformers and then you just have their accessories just, what was that? Accessories. That was German accent right there. I am so sorry. You have the accessories just flying all over the place, and then you're gonna lose them, and then it's gonna be terrible. So I kind of like it, but it also gets in the way of the articulation a bit. But it's not too bad, I think. It's decent. Articulation time. So yes, for an Age of the Primes Deluxe, he's actually quite good. Not to say that all of them are like terrible, they're actually all pretty decent to good. But especially like the Constructicons, the other Age of the Primes combiner team that we currently have, are very limited in their posing due to their alt modes being compromised. But this guy being part of a skeleton combiner, it doesn't have that many compromises, which is cool. So to start off, the head is on a ball joint. He can look down this far, which is nice. Not really up unless you try to force it. And that doesn't feel great. I don't want the neck to break. Same for like tiltage side to side. That just also feels like it's gonna snap off. And I don't want it to snap off because expensive. Yeah, it can also rotate the full 360, which is great. Then you have trigger happy hot rod shoulders that go up 90 degrees. Full 360 degree rotation at the shoulders, 360 degree bicep rotation, double jointed elbows that go up all the way, and nothing at the wrist due to transformation. Then we have waist joint. There's nothing blocking that, so that works perfectly fine. Legs kick forward this far, not as far backwards. It's a little bit limited because you have kibble bumping into more kibble, and that kind of stops it. It's still good though, for well, how much freaking kibble there's on the legs and the back. Now splits test. We can do the full splits and also go a little bit further, which just looks kind of unhealthy. And you get a thigh swivel and a 90 degree bend at the knees, which is great. It's also not rattly because, spoilers for the transformation, this does the Combiner Wars thingy, but this sits in here very stable. If you don't know what the Combiner Wars thing is, it's basically like that the legs collapse into themselves. And sometimes, like on Combiner Wars figures, it rattled. And this doesn't do this. This is very stable, which is cool. And then finally, the feet. My god, the feet are big. They're not wide, but they're long as hell. And yeah, they're decently articulated because they can go all the way down, or well, can tilt all the way inwards. They even have like this little thing sculpted in here, so like if you bend them at a certain angle, it doesn't look super off, but like if you bend them any further than that, it just kind of starts looking stupid. But they're still good because they balance them out very well. And due to transformation, you also, if it will focus, you also get a toe bend. Hooray for toe bends. This is great. I like this. Didn't fall over. Now he fell over. So, transformation on this man is actually like quite simplistic, but the simplicity is what makes it so fun to flip back and forth between jet and robot mode. It's great. So, to start off, rotate the head 180 degrees, then take the biceps and rotate them 100 degrees, and then bring the arms all the way up. Now you can see that. Do the same thing for the other side, and then tap the arms into the sides right here. See that? This is going to go up there because you can move the shoulders upwards because this is a double hinge. So just bring this up and put it in place there. Ow. God damn it. And then take the nose cone, untap that, hinge it up, and bring it down, and it's gonna peg in here like that. Then it's just going to hold the cockpit in place and looks quite flush. I like that. Then we come to the legs, and this is very standard plane former, I think. So you peg them together, bring the tail fins down, bring the toes up, and then fold this fin up, then take the wings, fold them out, and then finally open up the legs and do the good old combiner wars thingy where just collapse the legs into themselves, which is like a cool step. I really like this. And then you just peg the shins back in, and then you can fold the landing gear out so he doesn't sit on the painted chest, which is very nice. And then if you want, you can also take his cannons and put them on his wings to weaponize him, and it's actually good weapon storage for once. And yeah, that is a plane if I've ever seen one. And yup, like that's all I can really say. I like this alt mode. It's streamlined, but the only thing that's a bit weird is that like the cockpit looks more like the cockpit of a space shuttle and less like an actual jet. But it's still cool. I like that there's like a little bit more blue here, or like blue at all, because on the robot mode you didn't really have any blue apart from when you look at the back. And I don't think you really want to look at the back of this figure, but yeah. The underkibble is not too horrible for a plane former, and like I think this is overall a pretty good vehicle mode and a really good figure. Like I still think despite all of the jankiness of this figure, it's still just so fun to mess with, and it's overall another great one from Age of the Primes. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. Cheers out. Bye.